feminine side. The standpoint. Still listen to the feminine side. The standpoint.
Hello there and welcome to the Standpoint, still in the spirit of love. After all, this is all about love. Love, love, L-O-V-E. Love, that's what we are talking about. Today, we are asking the political leaders, the political parties, the leadership, the wannabe presidents of this country that show those who birthed you, those who have supported you, those who have paved the way, those who have groomed you. Yes, I'm talking about the women of Ghana. Show us some love. Fida Ghana is on a campaign to ensure, asking, pleading, urging you to elect females, women, as running mates. It's as simple as that. We'll give you many reasons why you need to do this. My name is Ahine Gifty. Welcome to the Standpoint. Let me say thank you to Habarata for my tie and dye. My dress is by Liran Collections. Beads earring by 20 Crafts. Makeup beautifully done by Touch by Rosie. We take a break. When we come back, we say elect women as running mates for 2024 elections. It is possible. It can be done. We'll be back.
The standpoint. The standpoint.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. If you're just joining us, yes, today we are looking at urging, demanding, coercing, what's the word again? Lobbying the political parties to choose a woman as a running mate. And this is a campaign embarked on by Fida Ghana. And on my panel, I have seated right next to me, Bashira to Kamal, who is a feminist, unionist, and activist. Welcome back to the Standpoint.
Always, thank you.
Next to her, I have Kezia Peace Kenneth Azuma, who's a board member of Fida Ghana. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you very much for having me.
And then we have Susan Akosia Aite, acting executive director, Fida Ghana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we delve into this, I must say that this particular program is brought to you by Fida Ghana, and it's dedicated to their cause. And of course, it won't be the last one. I'm sure after the VIP, we'll come to other aspect of getting women into active politics and political positions as well. But let me say thank you to Venant Mineral Water. Venant Mineral Water has a balanced pH level, has all the right minerals. And then, of course, before you go, I'll give you some, okay?
Thank you.
And then it's low in sodium, and they believe in changing lives and sharing love. And we still have our Valentine, decor on by Esteron balloons and accessories, because we are asking for love. Show the women of Ghana some love. Enough of the talk. This is the time. Let me start with the Madam Executive Director. So why now? Why the campaign to urge the political parties to choose a woman?
Why now? Because this is the appropriate time. This is the right time to, get the advocacy going and to get the political parties, particularly the incumbent party, to give us, the first female whip or running mate, as we should say, because we don't know who's going to win. So that whoever wins, we know the NDC actually has set the pace already and given us, a female VIP. And so we're looking forward to seeing a woman, probably elected and appointed also as a running mate. Why now? It's long overdue, basically. We've been talking about getting women into politics way before the 1990s.
Right.
And we still haven't made any headway. So if you even look at the data and just look at I think last year's district level elections, you find out that 95.9% of men, went through, and we had just 4.1% of women. And so you ask yourself, after so many years, 66 years of independence, why aren't we having the women showing up? And if you look around us and you look at the nations that are surrounding us, look at Liberia, just in West Africa, they had a woman, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, and she took a man as her vice president. Then we had a man, George Weah, and she took a woman. And now, of course, I believe that things may have changed with the current people, but at least they've set an example.
Right.
Now we look at Malawi. They've also had a female president. You look at Ethiopia. They have a female president. And we are actually touted as the, trailblazers.
Yeah.
But, the level or the number of women in our legislature, in our assemblies, in our governance structures is so poor that it just, beggars disbelief, honestly. And it's time we actually, made our voice heard much more strongly, because we know that there's a lot of lobbying, going on around us. And we are saying that, we need to make history. Let us have a woman this time around as running mate.
For me, this is significant because the standpoint, July, the standpoint will be 16 years.
Wow.
And the first 2 episodes of the standpoint was basically about the same campaign, because then Haji Halima Mahama, now the ambassador to US, the NPP now still the Nana Akufo-Addo, people were urging him to choose Haji Halima, and all sorts of things were being used again. So the very first 2 episodes of the standpoint were dedicated to why we need to choose a woman and her as a running mate, and why we need to get women into politics. I remember very well, 11th July 2008, and then 18th July 2000, back to back. And it's almost 16 years old. We're still talking about this. We can see this.
Yeah.
Kezia.
We are asking that we appoint a woman as the running mate for the major political parties, because the smaller parties have led the way, to the extent that they have given us even candidates as women in past elections.
Yeah.
Now, if we trace our history back to the 1960s, there is a law called Representative of People's Law, passed by Nkrumah, to ensure that 10 women entered parliament. So if we want to put women forward, we have capacity to do it. We have signed on to what is called CEDAW. And then under Article 17, I want to read it to our audience of the Constitution 1992. Article 17 says equality and freedom from discrimination. The entire 17 from 1, but I will zero down on 4A. Nothing in this article shall prevent Parliament from enacting laws that are reasonably necessary to provide for the implementation of policies and programs aimed at redressing social, economic, or educational imbalance in the Ghanaian society. This is the position of those of us who are pushing for the affirmative action law. We believe that if we claim that, let's even leave the situation of the law, but come as Ghana is a society that has a number of Christians and a number of Muslims as our religious belief. We believe that the family is made up of the man being the head and the woman. Why is it that when it comes to governance, we don't want the women to fall side by side? We are 51% of the population, and we believe that we should be giving the seat next to the men.
Plus more.
That's right. Yes.
51 plus.
Yeah, 51 plus.
Yes, 51 plus of the society are made up of women. So we should be giving a seat next to the men so that we can run the affairs together. You see, when I was thinking about this meeting, one of the things that came to me is that if the man is the head and the woman is supposed to be the neck, it means that we are where we are as a nation, because all these 66 years, it is only 2 heads who have been steering the affairs like this. So there is no turning direction. I mean, in terms of making sure that women come with different temperaments. They come with different values. They come with the fact that they are able to pick on smaller issues. For example, there was a a research done in the EU region. In fact, the EU region says that by 2026, every company must have 40% as non-executive directors as women. Why? Because women are meticulous. They go to the meetings prepared. For wherever there are women as the executives, their companies are doing better. That is the reason why we are saying that let us, as a matter of urgency, in fact, we are no more appealing and begging. We are saying that choose women as running mates so that by all means we'll have a woman vice president to champion our cause. When that happens, the affairs of the nation will do better. We'll be better represented as women. The voices of women will be heard. And it will trickle down. Once a woman is there, she's our mother. So we can go to her, and all the affirmative action issues, representations, and all the things that we want to come down to us will definitely come. That is why we are asking that a woman must be put there in this same season.
You know, Bash, 2 weeks ago, we had an exclusive interview on The Standpoint with the former First Minister of Northern Ireland, and she made a profound statement which hit home to many of those who've seen it. She said, it was when she left office that a lot of young women and men wrote to her telling her that they didn't know the importance of having a woman there until she left. That hit me. That until she left, they realized that, no, it's different. When she was there, she did things differently. Why is it so difficult for our political parties?
Yeah, thank you, Gifty. I think basically the whole issue and discussion is just about one, political will, commitment, and then they're probably running away from their devil or insecurity or something. Because you would notice that there's a special way that the men in politics form alliances, and they have this thing that, for lack of a better word, let me say like a cult. How do we bring someone else inside the cult such that the person even understands and agrees, to most of the things that we do? Because they do also understand that when a woman is represented, it's not just about her being a woman. It's not just about women. It's also about children.
Yeah.
It's also about other vulnerable groups. It's also about the community. Right. So it's a whole bigger thing where we do not even promote and accept people. I mean, you can take care of me, but you should take care of other people as well.
It's not just about me.
Exactly. So because of that, there is some level of resistance. Then in politics, there's so much people do just to push women back. Political parties need to be fair to themselves. Like when they are thinking about women in spaces, they are not thinking about women's reproductive roles. Because once you bring in issues around women's reproductive roles, you defeat the purpose. You defeat everything. Because here you are thinking about, if I choose a woman who takes care of the family. And it's not even just about the presidential aspirant.
Yeah.
In this case, the presidential aspirant may present names with women, but then there is a bigger team that is approving. How are they thinking? How are they seeing things? How are they seeing the woman? What are some of the issues they probably have had with that woman in the past? And then you have issues around, they are choosing a woman. Is she married? Does she have children? Does he even have money to support the political party? What is she bringing on board? And we know how political parties are funded in this country. It's not open. And we don't ask questions about it.
It's not open.
It's not open. And we don't ask political parties to declare their source of funding. What we see is probably when they crowd fund with some of the telecommunication. Beyond that, we know they spend a lot of money. The primaries that
even
just
when
ended,
they crowd fund, we don't know how much
they made because they don't account to anyone.
Yeah.
So they are asking questions, not tangible questions that has to do with issues, like addressing national issues that will help everybody. But they are asking questions that is almost like personal. When former President Mahama nominated Jane, the first thing that happened was she's not even married. She's not a responsible woman.
Yeah.
So how can she be a mother of the nation when she's not married because she couldn't keep a home? What has being divorced, not having children, not even being married before, has to do with competence, skills, and ability. The two does not go together.
Right.
You know, but if we try to always bring it in as a criteria, then it becomes problematic. It's the same thing that they extend to women when they are in positions of power, that they give you a different standard from the man. So even when you have performed tremendously, they are not looking at your performance. They are looking at other things that should make you. And let me just cite another example. Like when Nana was chosen and they were on and on about her marital issues, about her reproductive roles and all of that. I remember someone saying that she can't be a mother of the nation because of this, because she needs to be in a mother image for us to accept her. And I remember us saying that she is not there to be your mother. Constitutionally, she has a role as a vice president.
Exactly.
When she is done, that is how we are marking her. We are not marking her for coming to breastfeed anybody or telling somebody to wash somebody's clothes. But it's truly according to the roles of a VIP. If she fails at that, that's a different discussion. There are women who are capable, because even the political parties themselves have shown us that there are women in the system who are capable, because MPP gave us the first chief of staff.
Yeah.
NDC gave us finance minister, deputy finance minister, who is a woman. They gave us speaker of parliament.
Yeah.
We have had 3 chief justices, and from when we had the first until now, they've been women. So why? Why? It's just about political commitment and will. And we are done with hearing stories about she cannot. Because Wildaf has presented...
Or where are the women?
Where are the women? They are there. Wildaf
Women
have
are not
presented enough evidence where every 4 years after election, they submit a list of women and their positions and portfolios and their qualifications and everything to the presidency to be considered even for appointment as ministers. How many of those lists have they ever used? So the women are there.
You know what baffles me, Susan, is show me one great leader in this world who will not mention his mother or his grandmother or wife as being the one, the pillar that made it possible for him to get to where he is. So why?
So basically, you find out that women are actually boxed into the reproductive rules and to the caring rules. And so society is blind when it comes to women being able to handle national security, being able to handle national leadership, being able to handle the economy. So, basically, it's a non-starter when it comes to some of these issues. And we've been here, there was one particular, government where a woman had risen to the top of, I believe, the police force. And she was next in line to actually be the IGP. But she was shipped out, to become an ambassador. So that is it. Basically, that gender blindness is what, we see all the time. And then you ask yourself, do they even have gender policies? They don't. And even they do they go far enough? Because Abantu was actually, done a scorecard, and that was done in 2016, looking at the 4 major political parties, measuring their gender responsiveness. And they fell short heavily on many of the issues to do with health, to do with, education, and the economy, basically. And I remember when I used to work in the media, I actually sent, a colleague of mine to find out the gender policies of that particular party that was in power. They had none. And so if you don't have the gender policy, what guides you as a political party to actually target women, to nurture and raise them to take over? And that is what we are talking about. So going forward, let us see political parties that have gender responsive, policies, that are policies that will target, getting more women into, politics or into governance. Luckily for us, we are seeing this, change within the SRCs, in the universities around.
Yes,
we're having first time, women coming up as, SRC presidents. So when women are visible as leaders, it makes it very easy actually for the electorate to really vote, for women because they are visible. And we'll be talking about men panels. The same thing we are seeing when it comes to the political season, the discussions going on, the panels are all men. So we are saying, let us have women be part of the panels.
So, Keith, the bottom line is lack of political will.
Yes, lack of political will. And then when we go for some of the meetings, we discover that the easiest way to get these parity blocks removed from public office, parliament, and everywhere is to pass the affirmative action bill. Now, the bill has been in parliament 3 times. It has been tabled twice. In recent times, it has been tabled again. And we've been told that it went under a certificate of emergency. So we have to bring it back and make sure we go through a certain process. So in that law, the minimum level that we have there is that 30% of women will be in parliament automatically. Then 30% will be ministers. From start, immediately that law is passed, every position in governance, public sector, 30%. When you are going to employ people, mining sector, 30. Education, minimum 30. Every sector that is being male dominated, you would have automatically women entering. So you see, we are claiming in some of the arguments that women are not there. They don't want to go. Why don't they want to
say
go?
women are their own enemies.
One of the reasons why they do not want to go is the fear of branding. The fact that our temperaments are the ones that people will be considering. Oh, she's too like this. Oh, she's too this. Oh, she's not friendly. She's not kind. She couldn't hold a home. Her husband says she doesn't respect. Her children are that.
She doesn't cook.
She doesn't clean. She's not a good wife. She's not a good mother. But when a man stands in office, whether she has 16 baby mamas or he has issues with the home or he's divorced.
His abusive husband.
Nobody goes into that. We just go into the fact that, what is his credential? Okay, University of Ghana. Okay, 1962. Okay, 1963, he went here. Then he went to Harvard, came here. He was speaker here. Okay, so we think that he's qualified. But we don't use the same yardstick for women. And it is sad. And I dare say that for every woman listening to us, if you don't have candidates that are paired up, please advise yourselves. This particular season, we are saying a change in the direction of gender. Because we are tired of just one man show things. What we are saying is that it shouldn't be just the men. Listen to the feminine side this time around. And let's have a better Ghana, a much more progressive Ghana, a much more beautiful and harmonized Ghana. Because whether you like it or not, the women will put things better. They will look at the issues from a mother's point of view. I mean, when you go to the PTA meetings, when you go to visit children, you see more women gathered there. We are the ones who groom the society. Why can't you allow us to also be in governance at every level so that
and groom the nation?
Yes,
and prepare the nation. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll look at this issue of it's my show. I can say this nonsense that people have been saying that women don't vote for women. You are watching the Standpoint, and yes, this is the feminine. We say this time political parties listen to the feminine side, and this is the standpoint of women that we want a woman as a running mate for each political party, at least the major ones. When yes, Haja Zelia is sitting at the back saying, "Aluta continua. We shall hit the street very soon. I will join. We will all go. We will demand it. All will go to the political, parties headquarters. We need to do this. Dram it home. Choose a woman as a running mate." Well, again, let me say thank you to Juice Time 100% fruit juices, Bigger Drinks, Vena Mineral Water, Mrs. Oforipoko and the family. Thank you so much. House of Food, Auntie Vera, we are so grateful. And then, of course, Yep Cleaning Services. They make sure our environment is always clean. And our balloon decor is by Esteron Balloons and Accessories. So we'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. Thank you to Habarata Fabrics for my tie and dye. My dress skirt and top is by Lyran Collections. Thank you so much to her. And of course, makeup by Touch by Rosie and Beads by Twinny Crafts. Yes, and we are talking about the the demand, the need for political parties this year to choose women as a running mate. Now, let me come to Batch. I know she will tear me apart, but let me ask this question. There's always this perception that even the women don't vote for women. So all these things that we are doing, they will take the woman, but then the women will not bring. They will say the political, one of the things that was used against Professor Nana is that she didn't bring in much vote as a woman running mate, and I hope they will dare not change her. Me, I'm saying it. I hope they will dare not change her for this particular, election 2024.
Do all men vote for men? Secondly, it was in this country that there was an election where, is it a presidential candidate or a parliamentary candidate, they went to vote. When it was counted, he had about 8 people in his household. He had 2 votes. So what happened? Everyone would have said, naturally, that all the family members would vote for that person. But we all know that this country is divided along political lines to such an extent that it is extremely difficult to change that. We used to talk about floating voters and neutral. If they talk about Professor Nana, in 2020, when JM nominated her, much of the resistance struggle against reducing her to just a woman and her reproductive role and the fact that she was divorced and blah, 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 it was fought by young feminists online who had no relationship with NDC. Is this not support?
Yeah.
So we cannot consistently reduce every discussion to political lines, tribal politics, bigotry, and others, and expect that we would have the change that we want. Similarly, what do you see when you put your TV on? Advert speaks so much. This country, we still have lots of gendered division in the country, such that there will still, you will be shocked to see and know that there are women who won't even want to hear the idea about a woman being their boss.
Yeah.
They have been conditioned to think that the
Female
image
bosses,
should be a man. And you see female bosses and people would think that, she should understand better because she has given birth. So she's supposed to allow this because she's a woman, because that, so we have been conditioned to think that the image of leadership is a man. The image of struggle is a man. The image of war is a man. The image of economic discussions is a man. Even education is a man. And when you hear stories even from lecturers and professors who are females, they tell you about their students, the male students in the class, you'll be shocked to hear that such things still happen. So it's about the mindset, and once we begin to change that mindset, we'll see a lot of changes. We went to the field to work once, one of the rural communities, and the project was supporting rural women in agriculture. Now, when we got to the community, we had done our community entry and everything. So the community leaders understood, and then they said we should come. When we went there, the women were not there. We asked them, they said the women had gone to the farm for harvesting. And then we asked, but we told you that this and this as well. Also, yes, we remember, but you see, when you tell us, when they come, we will tell them. We said, no, if that is the case, we are going. So they mobilized to get the women there. When the women came, they sat at the back. I mean, people will say that culture, tradition, religion, but the institution that cripples and is disadvantaging us in our system, religion. Culture, they are the same things that are used every day.
Yes.
When people use their own interpretation of things, translations, and then they use that to cripple women just so that women will shut up. Because the right to interpret has even been given to them. So a woman is not interpreting for her to even look at it from a different standpoint as well. So when they came, they sat at the back. When we talk and they want to respond, then you will see them whispering to the ears of a man. And then the man will raise their hands. Then we say, oh, we heard you whispering, so tell us what it is. In the end, we have to arrange with them for them to excuse us so that we'll just engage with the woman. So do you think that if there's a female MP, these women will vote for that person? No. There was a scenario that was given to me about the primaries, that there is a woman who had a baby. So when she was going on the campaign trail, she didn't take the baby. They voted against her because they said that the fact that she didn't bring that baby she had given birth to shows that Oni Abadaye. So they won't vote for her because she will be wicked. And this is a real life situation. And they didn't vote for her just because of that. That she didn't bring the baby.
And
so
I'm
you
sure
expect
it's her political opponent
who
used
it. And the community members accepted it. And they used the woman.
Yes. Yeah.
To do that campaign against the woman. So it is not about women. In our system and structures, men are still holding the position. Men are still holding what allows us to understand politics. And they are using women against women. We have changed mindset by using ourselves as examples.
Yeah.
Where I have gone to the field with a baby and a nanny, and then stood in front of a crowd to do training with a baby strapped to my back. And just that changed a lot of things in the workspace, where women realize that when platforms are created for me and I'm allowed to bring my baby, and nobody will judge me, nobody will critique me for being a bad mother, for having my baby at the back and teaching others, impacting knowledge, I'll be fine. I'll bring my baby. And the next training we did, we had 5 women come with babies. Another pregnant woman, because they have seen it happen.
Exactly.
But we have not much examples until we do it. And we are asking the political parties to let us change that narrative. Carol changed it in University of Ghana. And then Mariam changed it at UEW. And today, KNUST has done the first. UDS has done the first. Central University has done it. So when we change the picture that people are used to, we change every single thing in the system and the structures to make it better for all.
So Susan, feel free to clap. So Susan, what's the strategy?
Well, as advocacy. And you
Advocacy.
need data, basically. Now, because citing an example also of a woman who won her, seat in parliament, she went into her community and she actually, told the women who were probably unelected about the number of men in parliament. So she began from that perspective, that standpoint, where we had 335 men. Yes. So as soon as she mentioned 335 men, they all exclaimed, in the language, the local dialects, and they were surprised. They didn't know. So data is essential.
Yeah.
We need to really, push data out into the communities and let them know.
Hold on, let me share an interesting story. It's 2016, right?
Yes.
During the election, I think we had the data that was, I don't know whether it was Waldorf or Abatu that gave us a list of 130 something women contesting. And I was so excited. And then one of my friends said, who was it? Said, wait, let's check the constituencies. Because you look at a constituency and 3 women contesting the same seat. So that one is one.
That's right.
You look at, so if you take it constituency by, because you realize that, Charlie, I dare know, it's not as, so data, as you rightly said, plays a role. It's very, very important, vital.
Important role. And it's able to actually, uncondition, if I should say that word, people's perceptions and perspectives that they have actually gathered over the years. And so it gives them a better picture of what is happening, why we're asking for, change. Then we also need the laws. It's very important. If you look at Uganda has, proportional representation. So wherever a woman stands, a woman must also, stand. So basically, if a woman...
Like a succession.
Exactly. So a good succession plan. A woman loses, a woman also, takes over. And talking about succession plan, for the women who are even, candidates, I was just telling my sister here, I've noticed a trend that after 3 terms, in parliament, your seat is bound to be targeted by a man. And if you look at the other men who have been there for years, they are seen as strong,
And
you
it
know,
happened.
yes,
The recent
yes,
elections.
they're seen as very strong candidates, and
Yeah.
nobody really wants to actually, you
Yeah.
know, go and take their or wrestle their seat from them. And so I think that the women also in politics or as members of parliament must begin to groom women to also take over from them. They must have a great succession plan. If you're going out there, take a woman with you, take 2 women, 3 women, let them learn, you know, from what is happening. You
Yeah,
see,
look at what
Yeah.
happened in the Ebri area. No,
Yeah.
Ebri area.
Yeah.
Honorable Obi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
that's
he
right.
he picked the form, and then his special aide also took a form. So and then he withdrew.
Exactly.
That was very strategic.
Exactly.
And that's something that we also have to learn from just
Exactly.
to prepare someone to take over from you.
So that is very important that, you know, they prepare women to take over from them.
Yeah.
It's very necessary that we stop asking women to stand down also for men to take over, you know, from them. Now, talking about even women, their reproductive health, and the role they play. If you look at Parliament, you ask yourself, do we have creches there, and even in Parliament? I mean, is there a creche in Parliament? Does anybody know if there's a creche? And so I asked myself, so if you are a female,
there isn't even a breastfeeding room.
That's it. So if you're a female MP, if
They
you
have
are
a what? A gym.
right? That's it. That's it. So if you're a female MP, you are female staff, you know, of Parliament, and you have the baby. After 3 months, you have to go back. How do you actually ensure that you are able to breastfeed your baby? And that would probably even be used, like you rightly said, be used against you if you even leave your baby behind, that, you know, you're wicked. So there are certain, you know, laudable strategies that, you know, we can pick up from around the world, from even within our own systems, that can help us ensure that, you know, we get more women into politics. So for me, I think mentorship is very, very key. The data is also, you know, very important. And of course, to ensure that even the men themselves who are in politics are also able to have a better understanding of why we need to have women there, and then provide support.
I think there's been 2 incidents where 2 MPs died and their wives took over.
That's right. Yeah, that's another
I think one for NPP, one for the NDC. One for the NDC one happened before the.
Is it what's the name?
Oh, that makes it 3 then.
Okay.
Yeah, there was someone somewhere in the eastern region, and then there's the central region, and then So the Lydia and then the central region are both, you know,
area,
they are both NPP, and she won again. The central region won. I mean, her seat as NPP parliament. Not we haven't gone for the national election yet, so we don't know about that. Yeah.
It's a good practice which I think can continue and get the women. So I believe that for even our male MPs, they should start grooming their women if they're interested in contesting. Because I understand there's a man whose wife is also, you know, an MP. I mean, one of the male aspirants who won his seat, the wife is also, you know, an MP. Yes, within the MPP. Yes, so there's a couple who are both, you know, MPs. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and I think it would be great to really have them probably on your show to find out. Yes. That
would be interesting. You know, that would be interesting. You know,
but yes,
one is in the father's town, one is
in the mother's town.
You see, and so I mean, this is it. Also, we have a couple who are also, you know, MPs.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. But how are we going to mobilize the women to be outspoken? You know, because Fida, yes, leading, and you know, to a larger extent, a lot of us feed off Fida as well. But to mobilize the women, not only women in advocacy, but women in politics, women in religion, women, you know, across the board, you know, to really come in to support. I remember my father telling me that during independence, he insists that it's the women who won the independence, because he said he was one of the police officers on duty at the polo grounds, and he said they were sent by the colonial masters to go and take notes, because and there was expected, you know, like some chaos, and that would have said, I mean, scattered everything, you know. But the women, the Makola women, went to face the police office. They took their guns, they took their pistols, they took their pens, they took their papers, and so the police couldn't do. They could only watch. and do so. How do we mobilize every single woman?
So
Let me ask Minna to be on board.
We need to now target the political parties.
Right.
We need to present petitions to them. We need to get them to actually agree that they will certainly integrate some of the advocacy points that we have raised. Because you find out that, I believe it's the AGI does a very good work by making sure that these political parties actually sign MOUs to state that when they come into power, these are the issues that they will be looking at to promote, business.
Yeah.
So that's what we should be doing to get also, perhaps that's the next steps we should take, is to really go to the political parties, get them to, accept what we have in our MOUs and then integrate it, and let's see them act it out when whoever wins power. And for whoever who doesn't win power also, let us see within your gender policies or your other policies you have, that these are the things that you are going to do to ensure that you have a mass or a critical mass of women, as we say, a critical mass of women actually, coming forward to contest, for seats. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to what my director has said, we'll be ensuring to look at making sure that political parties have gender policies across board. The gender policy will deal with issues of parity. It will deal with issues of grooming the younger generation of women and men to make sure that they are equally balanced to take up positions either as executives of the parties at the grassroots, as parliamentarians, or at the highest order of being presidents, or even grooming them to take up other political roles or other social roles in the public sector. Okay, they can be groomed when we have that policy in place. So one of the things that we are going to do is to ensure that we help you. If you don't have a gender policy, we will ensure that we assist you to do that, because without that, the foundation is not clear for climbing of women up the ladder. No, that is not going to continue from this period forward.
So I think CPP is the first political party to have a woman as a chair.
Sure. Yes, right.
And even here, look at what is being done to her.
Yes.
Yeah. What is being done to her. But in conclusion,
all we are saying, there's a song that all we are saying,
choose woman as running mate.
Whatever the political party, what makes it more important now is that both the NDC and the MPP is like fresh going to the election. Initially, Nana had Dr. Bawumia. Now, Dr. Bawumia needs to have somebody. And we are saying that someone should be a woman. Former President Mahama, we are saying that maintain the picture you made us see, that we were so excited to show our own children that it is possible. Enti niye ye kenyina ne se ye political parties na ye to abama wo mo no afi die ye nko ne sa afra se omu nyina mfa oba abedi achiwe isa ne se sa abre ye ka so omu mfa oba no ndi kai as presidential candidate enye because NDC for afa former president Mahama Dada MPP for so afa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na emomu no oma bedi achire no ye ntoso aba yeyi nti ye sre omu se omunyi oba na ye nyina ye bu man na eyeye se emma etimi hweba na mema de bia ka se oba na hweba na ye hweba ma ne be ye president a me hwe eba no adenti na mintimi mbu man no kala ma hwe nyina echi enti di obefa oba no ye nyina ye ntu ye hu si ho ne ye mpia bonten na ye meto aba ne ye nsesa mfoni a efiri si ye wo mi over 40 years ago mi hu se oba ne be magina ho ayesu om inti enye ne fenko a na emom nsesaye a ede beba ne mpuntu enti ne yeka.
On that note, say it in ever.
Yeah, it's true.
On that note, enya kemi le gbogbo pete kwenye bede
Cho.
nchuo wedede o ma tu no president Edusi Bell cho tanke bi kwame kuma va ko ba sere gbere mi ho 66 years ho nyonu reke mezo vice po fifi kelede mi ma tu no be nyonu ono ba du presidential candidate because parties of it select o to ho tai dodo nu fete laji fete nye bede Me a constitution chebede. There should be parity under Article 17. Tai, no work police will tell me no zazon ni de ka. Nemi no do koji do. Nemi no dowo. Ne do ne yingo. Ne no let the pede of authority. No see anu yeji beautifully. No see anu yeji fine. That matter kuku ne mi bede. Political parties ke mi to ahesu so. Henye mi anto mi nya ho NDC. Ule MPP. Hena hemi me vote na A o mi vote na B re. Mi cho nyonu cause vice candidate ewe. Alebella 7th January 2025 la. Ala keke mi tu jagbagba hepo na pejide. Si pe mi ajagbagba apo dukoji, let me select me as vice president. Akpelo.
Susan, can you speak Ga?
I try. Because Akosia is in my name. So
Yes.
tells you that yes, it's true. Not what you or One tawoni womane wana you ni efita president ehi koni wana ye ni aba ni government emi ni wono ni wo wi okukuji by next year January 7 2025 beka won swear in president won swear in new because amegie nu mombo she she vice president ele won wi ake agbene ahan yo koni yuba hu ya wo hie na ehie wo hie na wa wo koni wo man aya hie twa romanyaba
Now Haja Zadia, come give her a microphone. Come and speak Hausa. Come and say it in Hausa. Come.
I speak.
Yeah. Give her microphone. Yenyabre. We ain't joking this time.
Muna roka kamang come 2025 muna so achire mache as vice president don antun chire maza da dasu saya madedin president amma the vice president number ana vote bani ana chire wani she say muna roka major parties NDC the NPP ya maintain mace nan NPP kuma ya chire mace in yaso aka zo 2025 7 January na aka swear in na miji aka kaurin vice president sha swear in na mace in yaso mu samu tafiyan garin ya je daidai mun gode.
Nagode. Ni anu mayar kani. Ya bro, ya bre. Imbesiafu yakwo yeye. Imbesiafu yasu yakobio oyeye. Say kwejiragi. Oka de say it's besia ko school na atetu oman na bedi benyin ko school na atete nipa koro no wa cher. Imbesiafu akọ school. Emba won sori waka. Woma yesu yenyuamber na ye madam political parties ye want us de yasu yekobio oyeye ye fancy wodo da won tu ibesia no onye benyin no nko na yetu yenyuam besefo yenyua yesu yehu de yehu besia wo soro hobi se benyin president ni nyu ho a ne vice ne wo ho dam kakra o kine bi yesu yenya besia president wo yekrum ha inti woma yensor woma yembo ye ho modern woma yenyuam ber na political po ba yen kan kire won de sa amfa besia ama yehu dan ihe besiafo ne yeso ye kan ho bia no wala asamanyen. So thank you so much. We'll live to see what happens. This is not the end of it. After the running mates, we also have to look for voting for women. And then after the elections, we also have to look at appointing women to prominent positions because it is about agenda, getting women out there and encouraging and supporting them. So, ni krakra ni se. All we are saying is
choose
a woman running mate now. All we are saying is
choose a woman running mate now.
And all we are saying is
choose a woman running mate now.
And this is a campaign spearheaded by Fida Ghana, endorsed by the women of Ghana. So you better listen. So, thinking back, what do you think Or do you remember the prayer you prayed that changed the game for you?
I remember it like it was yesterday, but then I didn't make that prayer.
Okay.
An elderly woman made that prayer for me.
Ooh,
An elderly woman by name Mrs. Eunice Addison.
okay.
My father took me to her. I was in my teens, and he asked her to pray for me. And I remember she was a fanti. And my father knew I could sing. I was singing
Okay.
in church. But I think my father saw something that he needed me to have. So he took me to this woman who had received songs, lots of Pentecost songs.
Okay.
The lady had received it.
The standpoint.
From the days of creation till date, from religion to tradition to whatever, you see, women who make history, who write history, are women with some boldness, with some craziness, with some wildness. Women who dare. It's about time that Ghanaian women dare to support their own, to push for a woman to also be at the top, at the presidency. Yes, we've had a chief of staff, that's good. We've had a speaker of parliament, we've had a chief justice, we've had this, and it's good, but we say it's about time we have a woman as running mate, and eventually a vice president. This is a campaign by Fida Ghana, and I support it. I believe in it. Interestingly, the standpoint started on the same note almost 16 years ago. Our first two discussions were on making sure that women are counted. Let women arise. Let women call the bluff of everyone and hold their head high, knowing that they will be making history. They will be setting example. They will be opening the door for younger women to come. Others started. We have shoulders to stand on. And may women across the country also mobilize, resolve to support the women who would dare with all boldness vie for political positions. Until then, we will complain, we will talk, and we'll see very little. Let's support our own. Let's support womanhood. Let's support generational change. Let's support impactful history making. I remain a woman with super crazy faith in God. I believe God has got me covered. But I know God has also given me wisdom. And I know the women in the Bible who dared. And there are women in the Quran who dared. And there are women in tradition who dared. Are you ready to dare? Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.